Taylor Calmus, known to 2.1 million followers on TikTok and hundreds of thousands on YouTube and Instagram as Dude Dad, is a Colorado-based content creator. He makes comedic content about fatherhood and family life, from sketches to DIY projects, and he's joining us to talk about a recent venture in content creation, a kid's book, Dad and the Recycling Bin Roller Coaster. Dad's crazy backyard inventions just keep getting bigger and bigger, so why aren't the kids excited? The book entertains kids while encouraging fathers to spend time as a family. Dude Dad himself. Hey, Taylor, welcome to the Wednesday Bookmark.
Thanks for having me.
So do you find that, what you do, putting your life and your role as a dad out there for millions to see, has forced you to analyze how you are and who you are as a dad? Because I can imagine it would be hard to be so purposeful with how you're portraying dads.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it really keeps you honest because I want to make sure that I'm putting out there how I actually am. So I try to make sure that I'm living up to what I put out there, but I also make sure that I put out there like my failures and stuff too, because I think that's a very real, raw thing that everyone experiences. And I never want people to like glorify me as some sort of special dad. I'm just a dad who's trying to do his best.
Yeah. And I mean, your kids are going to see this stuff one day too.
Yeah, for sure. And that's just it. It's like, doesn't matter how many millions of followers I have. If my kids watch it and go, that's not true, then, and that's actually a little bit what happened with this children's book, because when I read them the children's book, they were like, you didn't build us a roller coaster. So then I built them a roller coaster. So we have a roller coaster in our backyard now.
Such a good video when you made that one. But it's true. I mean, you had to have known that was going to happen. You can't just make a book about it and not have it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I didn't think that one through. And I always wanted to build a roller coaster. So that was just like the encouragement that I needed, I guess.
Well, and like you're saying, your kids were like, Dad. So they're still pretty young, but are they starting to make suggestions and coming up with ideas of things you can do together?
Some they've thrown some random things out there. I think the problem is sometimes because they are so young, they don't understand that I can't just do anything. Like my son requested that I build him an airplane or something like that at one point. And I was like, oh buddy, that's beyond what I can do, But a lot of times it's like, hey, can you fix this? And I'm like, that's a junky little toy. I don't know. And then I open it up and I find one wire came loose and I solder it back in. And now he forever thinks I can fix anything. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I'm making it harder on myself.
You're definitely going to want to make dads know a few more extra skills. And I think I saw you in an interview talk once about how you can start with just cardboard. There's a lot you can do with just cardboard. But I know you have a lot of skills beyond that. But talk to dads about work-life balance. I mean, being a content creator, that's a lot of work today. Yeah. But this book is about your kids just wanting to spend time with their dad or their mom. So what is your work-life balance advice?
I think we just try to be really intentional with it, it's easy to say, oh, I have to do this because it's work and it's the money and it's what it gets all the things. But at the end of the day, you'll never look back and wish that you spent more time working, you're never going to wish that you spent less time with your kids someday, so I don't know. I think, me and my wife just try to really balance that. And if we do have busy seasons, we try to make sure that we get away to do something else with the kids or spend one-on-one time with them or whatever it is.
Yeah, without the camera out.
Exactly. And that's become a big thing too. As they've gotten older, you'll see that our content has shifted to be a lot more sketch comedy based. And it's a lot more about Heidi and I's relationship and less about the kids. And it's not because we're doing less parenting stuff. It's because I can be a better dad if I'm not always trying to make them film stuff while I'm being a dad. So it's kind of this weird catch-22 where some people are like, oh yeah, he doesn't really do fatherhood stuff anymore. I'm like, well, I do. I'm just doing less of it on camera because it makes me a better dad. If I'm not constantly everything I do for them is just a piece of content. So yeah. And that's kind of a bit of what the book is too about, and kind of finding that balance. And
Yeah. Yeah. And wanting, like you said, the kids want to spend time with their dad. And I always want to know, like, has that kind of discovery that your kids really just want to spend time with you, has that impacted your faith or, even how you see God as a father?
Yeah. I mean, I think, just fatherhood in general really like changes your entire outlook on life and faith and just how you perceive the world and how it like just makes you so much less selfish, and forces you to think outside of yourself and to live for other people. Yeah, I mean, it's I think like, even just like the minute you have that child, I think it feels like a door is opened to a whole new part of yourself that you didn't know existed, and you like open this little door and then like the lights start turning on, but it's like goosh, 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 because it's this huge, expansive part of yourself that you didn't know you had. That's why whenever I meet people that don't have kids, I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't know. I don't know what to talk to you about.
Yeah. You just don't get it. No, but it's true. I mean, then there are people out there that don't have kids, people listening and watching that don't have kids. And obviously they're still enjoying your content. And maybe they're thinking, okay, is this what fatherhood really is about? But you get hundreds and thousands of parents and dads reaching out to you all the time, commenting on posts. Is there anything that has either hit you as, oh, like that's not what life is like for me, or that has inspired you as a dad? Like, what have you learned from others in just because of what you do?
I mean, I think that's the thing that always like, is the people that reach out and say that I inspired them. That's always like, the biggest honor ever, to think that what we're doing here on our little corner of the internet is inspiring other dads to build things for their kids or to, take them on different adventures or whatever. That's probably one of the coolest things that about the whole experience is just knowing that we've had some sort of impact like that.
Yeah. Okay. So I know you already have a book. This is actually a follow-up to a book that you have for expecting fathers. But for this one in particular, can you tell us a little bit about the process? Because it must have felt like a natural progression being a content creator. Let's get into books. Real quick, just sort of, what was it like? Was it all your idea? Have you done all the projects that are in the book? Give us a little bit of the backstory.
For the Recycling Bin roller coaster book? So I haven't done all the projects in there. There's one of them that is literally something that we built. I think it's the first thing that he builds, the little rocket ship thing. But writing a book is hard. It's like way harder than you would ever expect and way more work than you would ever expect. And every time you think you're done, there's more to do. Like, just the process of like writing it and then rewriting it and then going through edits and then approving the pictures, and then once you finally like have the book done, you start the promotion process, and that is like a huge lift to just get it out there. But ultimately, like, huge bucket list item. Super proud of it. I think it's like a super meaningful, fun book, and we couldn't be more happy with it.
Awesome. I mean, it is something, again, that your kids are going to have to look back on forever. And when I see most of your content, not just the skits, but the projects, the challenges you take on, ultimately you're making memories with your kids, and the book's going to be part of that.
Can I tell you a little Easter egg about the book?
Yeah.
So in the book, it depicts my wife and I and our 3 kids, because when I started writing the book, we only had 3 kids.
That's right.
But it takes like 2 years to finish a children's book. So we were like a year in the process, and we got pregnant again. So I like called up my editor and was like, "Hey, can we get the illustrator to like give a little Easter egg at the end of the book? So when mom comes home from shopping, she has like shopping bags, and we put a pregnancy test in the shopping bag." And that's my way to like tell Kelso, like, "No, you're in the book.
You're in the book.
You're right there." Yeah, because otherwise he wasn't going to be in it.
Yeah, I love that. I'm so glad you did that. I was thinking that too. I'm like, what about the 4th? No, it's so good. So fun. You're doing such great content. Really appreciate your time. The book, again, for kids, and families, is Dad and the Recycling Bin Roller Coaster. You got to check out the video of Taylor making that roller coaster too. The dude dad himself, Taylor Calmus. Thank you so much.
Thank you.